Hey, welcome to the Rediscover Geek podcast, or it's not really a podcast because we're live on video, so the podcast gets released. It's funny, I was actually thinking about that before. But welcome to the Rediscover Geek show. Um, this is episode 20. We've hit the big 2-0. I'm your host, or semi-host, or partial host, Chris Jansen, and I am joined, as usual, by my fellow hosts, semi-host, partial hosts, Caesar and Anthony. No, there's no do-overs. Actually, I do that on purpose. It's now my thing to see how I can mess it up and get your guys' reactions as I mess up the intro. Because the ones that I've nailed really good, you guys always seem to mess up. So I feel like I've done, like, maybe I've nailed like 2 intros of the 20. No? No? Okay. Okay, there you go. Go back and watch. Actually, we can't because I don't know where we store all our episodes. Um, you can go back and watch. Apparently, YouTube won't let me post anything up. Our last episode didn't go up on YouTube because of copyright infringement.
What?
Yeah, like apparently, like the trailers we're showing, even though we're not showing audio, it's still like visual, like copyright. For some of the trailers we had, and which is weird because there's like I could literally Google these trailers on YouTube and it's people talking over these trailers. But whatever. So
What?
there we go. Yeah, but
Doesn't
anyways,
make any sense to me.
hey, what's up, Jay? RPG Book Club. Hey, it's Bill. Bill's back. Yeah, that's where I get all the videos. I literally I pull them from YouTube. Anyways, how you guys doing? It's another week. Anything
I'm doing
new?
great.
There we go. Yes, I like
Living
that.
the dream.
There you go. Okay. Give us a little bit. Why are you so happy? What's going on this week?
Oh no, it's all fake.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
No, it's good. Everything's good. Everything's well.
Cool. Caesar, how's your week been? Oh man, I could hear. All right, we'll hold down the fort until we get audio. I'm doing all right. It's been. I mean, it's just the start of the week. I'm back to a normal Monday through Friday schedule and weekends off, which is nice. I find myself having more time now that the Overwatch League season's over. Not more time like work. I still have my normal work, but I find that I'm not like doing overtime, obviously. So I am able to like I created a running show that I sent you guys that you probably didn't even open.
No, I opened it. I'm looking at it right now too.
Cool.
Check,
Yeah, it's
check,
very
check.
important.
Okay, I'm back.
Hey,
Welcome back.
welcome
Thank
back.
you, Bill.
Anybody,
Thank you. I don't know what's going on, but for some reason, every time I start my PC, it's a pain in the ass. First of all, I hate PCs, but every time I start it, there's always something new. Either my mouse is extra fast or extra slow at the start of whenever I start my new PC. And OBS is all over the place. Sometimes my microphone's on, sometimes it's not. Sometimes I have to go and readjust things. This PC just sucks.
Sorry. So what you're saying is we need to get you a new PC.
No, it's I'm talking shit about the PC, but it's really just the software. But I don't know. It might be the PC. I really don't know. It's just weird how my mouse, if the previous time I used it, the mouse was on super high because I had to raise the sensitivity because the last time I turned it on was really, really slow. The next time I turn it on, it's going to be really, really high, and I'm going to have to turn it down because it's so fast. So I think I got to slow it down. So it's always one or the other. Every time I turn on my PC, it's fucking weird.
Suspicious.
Anthony happens to be in IT. He might be able to help you
Anthony,
out.
tell me, how do I fix that?
90% of the problems are user
User.
error.
I did
So
look it up.
true.
I did look it up. I will be honest. I did look it up, and it seems there was a problem with this version of Windows. Um, I looked up how to solve it, but there was just so much reading involved. I was like, I'm out. I just gave up. But there is a problem. I saw on Reddit too. Many people complain about the same thing. That whenever they turn on their PC, their mouse is either slower than the last time or faster than the last time.
What version are you on?
I forget. Let's see if I can check this out.
You have one of those programs, Anthony, to like remote into someone's
You should do
desktop
that.
and
I don't know which one I
fix it.
have, and I can't check right now because I'm gonna have windows popping up all over the place. So I'll let you know after the show.
Cool.
Which Jansen, maybe you want to let people know what we're gonna be doing halfway through the show.
Oh yeah, so we'll see what happens. There's a chance that the audience that is
No, we
watching
might
that
want to do it, right? Because we'll probably forget.
yeah, no, I'm saying
Halfway
right
through.
now, no, like halfway through the show, what I'm saying is apparently we use Zoom as a group thing, because we're not high tech and using Discord or anything like that. But so we're currently using Zoom, and my pro account is still showing a basic account. So we might get timed out after 40 minutes. So if you're watching and that happens, we're going to give you a warning, and Caesar's going to throw up a screen, and then we're going to exit out of my call, and then I'm going to recall in, and we're going to kick back up again. So if that happens, we'll give you guys a warning.
Why did we
Probably
say
like a
we
minute.
didn't? Why did we say we didn't move to Discord yet?
That's the funny thing. When you mentioned that just now, and the first thing that came to mind is like, man, we've been thinking about Discord since episode 1.
I mean, I downloaded. We all have it. It's just you guys never want to take the time to do anything. It's always me having to initiate everything. Be like, hey guys, let's move.
What?
Anyway,
Wow.
let's get. I'm gonna leave it right
Shots
there.
fired.
Let's get into our
This
show
is why
for
I just
today.
I drink straight vodka, by the way.
Great vodka. Reminds me of a story I'll have to share another time. Involving a friend that used to drink out of a tequila bottle. I think you might know that story, Anthony. He used to drink water out of a tequila bottle. And what we did to that tequila bottle.
Yeah.
Oh, those are always the best stories.
So anyways, let's get into it. News this week. Actually, we were kind of surprised when we were doing it over the news yesterday that there wasn't like a ton of stuff happening. Obviously today there's a couple more things that happen, but yeah, we'll kick it off. Obviously at the end of the month you have the Mandalorian season 2 coming out on the 30th, and they just released the another teaser trailer for it. And what are your thoughts on it? You guys see it? Did you guys watch it? Excited?
It was cool. I thought visually it looked incredible. So you're starting to see the Mandalorian. Not trying to take anything away from season 1, but season 2 they definitely it just straight up looks like a Star Wars movie, which is fantastic. We're starting to get into that realm where you're not going to be able to tell the difference between something in theaters and just a series, and I love that. So it looks cool. I mean, I've already been excited for this for a while, and we're just a couple of weeks away, so can't wait.
Anthony?
Yeah, I'm definitely stoked about it. The trailer, it's interesting because the trailer, I was stoked about it, but obviously they don't. It's just funny. So he leaves an episode in the last season. Spoiler alert. For anybody that hasn't watched it.
You're supposed to say spoiler alert before the spoiler.
No, I actually prefer the way you did it.
It's not really a spoiler anyways, because at the end he just like leaves. He leaves the two peeps. And then it's funny because they already know like what he needs to do. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go take, the child, not baby Yoda, to find out where he's supposed to go. And then it opens up with the season and he goes back to the two peeps and he's like, hey, I need your help. It's like, didn't you leave them?
It could be that it's just showing out of order, right? So he could go back like after 3 episodes because he needs their help. I imagine that's what it is.
Yeah. I'm so nitpicky.
Yeah, you sound pretty nitpicky. I thought it was an alright trailer. I agree
Yeah.
that it does, like, visually it looks like an upgrade. Like maybe they got a better budget or a little bit larger budget, and also I think like the program and software and tech they're using is just getting better. Like it's actually it's fascinating. Like their tech they're using is now being out, like it's ILM and it's being sourced to other studios because it's all like virtual technology that people can do like virtually. So it's actually like really cool, like the technology they're using, and they're also using the Unreal Engine for Mandalorian, which is cool. So it's like going to be like when the Unreal 5 comes out, the new engine comes out, that's going to be interesting to see how that, like what upgrade that looks like on series like this.
Well, and it's great too because they're essentially that's what they're using to render the volume, and then they're using the volume to basically it's all it's doing is just taking the place of green screen and blue screen. You don't need that anymore.
Yeah.
Because you're doing everything in that volume, and the camera is capturing it with the perfect angle from whatever direction that it needs to be. So, and then it's also too, it's great because the actors, they're actually seeing the images live. So it's not, they don't have to sit there and imagine anymore.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's this big thing against this green screen, or I'm looking at this dot, on this pole, the tennis ball. So it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Obviously, it's like they don't reveal. It's all characters that you see from the previous one. I'm just super. I just can't wait for Ahsoka to come in. So that's all I really care about. And I'm glad they haven't showed, and they're probably not going to show her until they debut her, which is awesome. So I'm just hoping that is really cool because she's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. So moving on top of other movies, on a little side thing, anybody, I own Disney Share, so I follow like Disney Plus, and the reason I actually bought Disney shares was because of Disney Plus. I was like, oh, it's gonna be, when it launches, it's gonna be big. So I follow it. But I know, Caesar, you mentioned that the Black Widow during their like conference call about Black Widow and what their plans are for Black Widow. So go for it, take it away.
You said it.
Okay, awesome.
No, that's what it
Wait.
is. It's really just you know, people that have invested into Disney, that have Disney chairs, are advising Disney, or they, they're worried. Obviously, that we just learned today. I don't know if you guys are up to date on theme parks here in California, but I just found out today that they're not opening anytime soon here. So that includes.
They issued new guidelines, right? But Disney came out and said that with those guidelines, they're not going to open up.
Exactly, yeah. So they're not going to be opening in here anytime soon. And stockholders are they want Black Widow to come out on Disney Plus, and I'm not a stockholder. I have none of that, but shit, I'd like to watch Black Widow. Honestly, I'm very much I have this thirst for Marvel right now that I need to quench. It's been a while since I've seen a recent Marvel movie. I miss that feeling of being in the theater, or just I would be at home now, but just that Marvel intro, just that feeling of knowing that you're getting into a new Marvel movie. I miss that feeling alone. And I need it. I definitely think that they should put it out on Disney Plus already at this point. They just keep pushing it, and I'm gonna have to agree with them, honestly. Let's make it happen.
When I say I'm a Disney shareholder, I'm like, I'm not talking. I'm talking like 1 or 2 shares.
Hey, but you still have some say.
Just so I can get their memos.
You still have some say.
So you're demanding that they bring it to Disney Plus as well?
Yeah, take my 1 share up in price. No, I think like they keep pushing it back. Like it's was supposed to be released in March, and now it's not going to get released like a year later. Like I feel like the longer you push back, I don't know. I haven't really had a craving though for Disney films or Marvel movies. Like I haven't really missed Marvel.
Wow.
Oh, that's actually interesting though. Maybe it's because like since Endgame tied up everything, and so this was like, was there anyone after Endgame outside of Spider-Man: Homecoming?
Yeah, Spider-Man.
But it like kind of wrapped up everything. So Yeah, I just don't feel like a need right now. That's not to say like once it comes out that I'm not gonna get hooked again, but or like I don't know. Right now I'm not really craving a thing. I'd rather see the Bond movie. I want the new Bond movie to come out. So.
But so you do agree that it should come out on Disney Plus?
No, I do. I do.
Okay.
I think yeah, the longer they wait, I think the worse it is. So
But I mean, like you mean just releasing it straight up, not doing what they did with Mulan and charging a premium for a short
no, I
window.
think they should do.
Oh,
I
it would
think
be
they
a
should do
premium.
the. I think they should do a premium with it. Yeah, they should do what they did with Mulan. Yeah, I don't think they should release straight up. I do like the fact that they're releasing Soul straight up on Disney Plus on Christmas, the new Pixar film.
Hmm.
I think that's
But is it a little dicey where if you're doing it for one film that you're almost doing a flip flop where it's okay, one film gets released for free, but then another film they're going to do a premium access for a certain period of time, and then another film they might just release it. You kind of does that muddy the waters a little bit instead of having one specific strategy where it's like, okay, we do a preview weekend or 2 weekends or 3 months, whatever it is, and then it'll come over for free.
I don't know. I don't think one size fits all when it comes to stuff like that. I think that it's based on the movie. Like I feel like kids movies should be released. Like I don't mind them releasing free, like just a Disney Plus like add-on because um like you're just gonna get like a lot of children watching it. So I don't actually mind that. Like Mulan, I feel like with a mix between kids and adults, it was like hitting that 18 to like nostalgia, like our age group. So I feel like you can pay for that. Marvel, I think you could definitely pay for. I just don't think it's a one size fits all. So,
Hmm.
but I do want it to release.
I say
Um,
they push it one more time. I mean, what is it pushed to right now?
actually, I don't remember. Like
Is it
February or March or
2021?
something. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
2021.
they
Yeah,
pushed it to next year.
Okay.
yeah, it's in 2021.
Just move it up. Move it up to December and give us all a Christmas present. Just make it available on Disney Plus. No premium. Just make it available. Hook us up.
They're doing that with Soul. That's your Christmas movie.
That's the
No,
point.
man. I
Like,
want
why?
this one. I want more, Jansen.
Okay. Anyways,
Shouldn't
moving
I
on.
just it shouldn't be this hard. It's like you've got an enormous team, an enormous group of people that it shouldn't be this difficult to figure this out. Plus, two, it's like streaming has been something that's been on that's moving to this for years, and it's like I just don't understand why it hasn't been figured out. Like why everybody has such a hard time on it, like figuring out how to monetize it or how to make it a viable revenue stream.
I don't know. It could be because it's like a $200 billion movie. So
Well,
it's
and I think that's probably one of the things that we mentioned. I think in an episode before the one before that was change. They'd have to probably change the way they're making some of these big
yeah,
budget movies because if you don't no longer have the venue, the exhibitor distribution to make that to bankroll the what it would cost to make a movie, and you're going straight to your own streaming service, then yeah, you can't be dumping 250 for these big movies anymore. You got to rethink how you're actually spending this money.
yeah.
Because a lot of it too is a lot of that is excess. Like you don't need $250 million to make that movie.
I don't know.
So I mean, we just talked with Mandalorian, the type of tech now that's being
Yeah,
developed and
I think it
available.
gets
It's like
it's cheaper. Like I mean, Star Wars is like actually a great example. Like the reason a live action Star Wars show never came out before now is because the technology was too expensive to make it. So yeah, I think as technology grows, it just gets cheaper to make film. So yeah, I think that eventually, yeah, $200 million movie budgets are gonna go away as technology gets better. But who knows? Moving on. Speaking well, not really speaking of technology, but speaking of someone that's
I mean, kind of.
yeah, I guess speaking of our last thing on TV, which is actually a throwback, is a rediscovery, but you guys catch the battery Die Hard commercial with Bruce Willis?
I did. I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thoughts, initial thoughts on it?
So do we really like? Do we really need a 2-minute ad for Die Hard?
It's like a 2-minute short film. That's all I like.
Yeah.
Um,
Speaking about wasting money.
I don't
Major
know.
waste.
I feel
Major
like
waste.
we're talking about it. Everybody was talking about it. It might have been worth it. Um, I just don't know,
Maybe.
like battery commercials in general. Like, who is the person that like I've never watched a battery commercial and decided, yeah, I'm only gonna buy that battery because of the commercial. Like batteries just happen to be like it's like when you go there, it's like, oh, whatever's available. Duracell Energizer. To me, they're both the same. Like, or the cheap brand, which is probably made by Duracell or Energizer. They just slap a different label on it. Um,
Let's be honest. They may be the same to you, but which one do you feel you'd buy the most, Energizer or Duracell?
I legitimately don't care. It's whatever happens to be in my field
Whichever
of
you
vision.
see. Okay.
Yeah, whatever I see first on the battery stand is what I'm going
But
for.
now it's gonna be Die Hard though. You're gonna like, oh, I need
No,
to
but
I need to get the
They
Die
only
Hard.
they only make the car batteries, so you
yeah, I'm not.
how
Yeah, I'm
often do
not
you change
going
that
to.
out?
I'm not going to go to AutoZone and be like, you know what? I saw this Die Hard commercial, this battery commercial with Bruce Willis. He sold me on this battery. Can I get this Die Hard battery?
I'll be honest. Since I was a kid, I remember seeing Die Hard batteries. I'm surprised it took them this long to put out, to make that connection. I'm surprised it took them this long. I saw the commercial, and right off the bat, this commercial was hard to watch because, as excited as the fans may have been, Bruce Willis was not excited. You can tell in his voice acting. He was not having a good time. He did not like what he was doing. It was really bad. I think it was poorly done, and mainly because of him. And I've heard that he's a really hard person to work with. That might have been it might have been one of those situations where, you know what, his heart was just not in it. He just wanted the money, get this over with, and move on. But yeah, I felt like the acting in this was just god awful. I really like that, they brought back the limo driver.
Yeah,
I thought that
what they
was really
brought back.
cool. Hats off to him because I'm sure I can't I don't even know beyond Die Hard what else I may have seen him in, but maybe he needed this, and hats off to him for that. And then they also brought back the hacker, the one that was actually opening up the vaults in
Yeah.
the building. So I thought that was cool that they brought him back. But yeah, Bruce Willis kind of ruined this commercial for me because you could just hear it in his voice. He just didn't care.
Why
I
do
don't,
it? Like,
Exactly.
why do it? It's not like you're hurting for money, right?
I can't
It,
imagine he
I don't
is.
know. I feel like well, look at the movies he's been into. It's all straight to VOD. It's all like he's not. It's not like he's making big blockbuster films anymore. I don't think he's hurting for money, but he's
you think
probably
about it,
not
like
where he used to be.
they give you a couple mil for the commercial. You gotta figure you're taking out for taxes. You're paying, commission is going to your agents, your manager, your legal people. Like, are you making really a lot from that commercial?
You probably not. But I feel like you do stuff because you want to stay relevant. You need like he's been out of the light for a while, so he comes back. And why not in Die
Yeah.
Hard where everybody knows him? I don't necessarily know if like his acting was. I didn't get that vibe. I just felt like, have you watched like a film recently with Bruce Willis? It
Not
is kind
recent,
of like
no.
that same level.
Really? He's
Yeah,
gone. He's gone Harrison Ford.
yeah. It's kind of like he's like this older actor now that there's- I don't. Yeah.
Well, it's not the John McClane that we're all used to. I know that much.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But do you want to see another Die Hard movie after this though?
No.
No?
No, not
Oh,
really.
okay.
I mean, if that's the John McClane he's playing now, no, and I can't even remember the last Die Hard movie and if I saw that one. But
It was the one with like Justin Long, right? And his
Yeah.
daughter.
oh, that's
Yeah, it's like
right.
hackers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like. I remember that one.
Yeah, it was Live Free, Die Hard,
Yeah,
wasn't
Live
it?
Free, Die Hard. Yeah.
Jesus. I don't know. I thought
Yeah.
it was cool. You know, it was definitely a good try. I'm sure that if Bruce Willis gave a little bit more effort, I would have enjoyed this commercial. But yeah, he's the one that ruined it for me. I'm sorry.
Like just 2 minutes and it's just ruined because you didn't like the way Bruce Willis was. You
Yeah,
didn't live up to your Die Hard standards.
Yeah.
He did not.
we're-
He did not live up
we're-
to the John McClane. No.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that's nitpicky.
Yeah, that was pretty. All right. Done with movie news. Oh no, actually not. I actually want to discuss this. It was
It's one of those
just
guests.
announced. We don't really need to talk, but Disney Plus just greenlit a Willow movie. All right, we got dogs in the background. We discussed this, and like when we were talking about what movies we'd like, I forgot what conversation we were talking about, like what movies we'd like to see of the TV series come back, and I mentioned Willow, and Willow now is officially greenlit. I know they're talking about it for a while, but Warwick Davis and is gonna come back, and then Ron Howard is scheduled to come back. I don't know if he's like producing it or I don't think he's directing the first one, but I thought that was pretty cool. I'm curious if they bring back Val Kilmer.
Oh.
Yeah, like,
Poor guy. I don't know
Definitely.
if he would be able to.
yeah, I don't know if he'll be able to do it. And you can let the dogs bark, man. It's
Oh.
the world we live in now. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up.
So that's a TV series, Disney Plus, right?
Yeah, Disney Plus. So they need to kind of step up. If you think about like, since they've kind of everything got put on hold, like we still watch Disney Plus on a regular basis because Finn just watches all his shows. Like he's still obsessed with Clone Wars, and he's like, so we constantly watch Disney Plus. But I feel like if you're not like outside of like Mulan and The Mandalorian, they really don't have anything for like our demographic yet until like the Marvel stuff comes. And that stuff was like delayed and pushed back. So it's kind of like they kind of need to step it up. So I'm glad to see them like pushing like Willow and pushing these series because they need to step it up a little bit.
I completely agree with you. I watched Disney Plus for the first time today, and I can't remember how long. And I scrolled through it. It's like, man, I've seen most of this, and I've seen most of this not too long ago. Maybe mainly Marvel movies, but I ended up watching Darkwing Duck. But yeah, I felt like, man, they need to step up their game because there's nothing here. And I even went to the just added section. They're finally adding the X-Men library, but it's X-Men. You know, not something I really care to watch, but yeah, it's good that they're adding more. But again, Mandalorian right around the corner, so can't wait for that.
Boom. 10 minutes, guys. We have 10 minutes of my Zoom call-ins.
So
All right, guys.
sad.
This is what I
So
warned you
sad.
about. We'll be ready to make the shift. All right, moving on to video games. Caesar, I know we didn't get to cover it last week, but Smash Brothers had an announcement. Take it away.
Oh, I mean, I've covered this in a previous episode where I'm a big fan of Smash Brothers. It's probably the fighting game question mark or party game that I'm best at. You know, it's still there's still that argument in the FGC whether this is a fighting game or a party game. I'm usually excited for these character announcements, but I got to be honest, this one kind of really made me think. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. Nintendo makes games for kids. That's how I felt when they announced Steve from Minecraft. I never really got into Minecraft. I've dabbled in it, but it was just nothing that I can really get into. And when I saw that they released this character, I was like, I wasn't excited, and it just really, really made me feel like that's right. This is more for kids. This, I think, you know, I don't want to be insulting anybody out there, but I feel like this is more aimed for kids. And not too long after he was released, I believe from what I've seen, he's already been banned from tournament use.
Oh, really?
Yes, I believe he has been. I'll have to double check that, but yeah, so far from what I've seen, there's a yeah, he's pretty much broken. So I've seen that he's been banned from tournament use, but I just wanted to touch on it because I was like, wow, really, Steve from Minecraft? I was like, cool. Yeah, I guess if you play Minecraft, if you really got into it, you're really excited. But really in Smash Brothers, I don't know. I don't know. But I haven't played them, so this is just my take on it, just from watching the trailer and knowing what it is. But yeah, just wanted to touch on that and just give my 2 cents, and those are my 2 cents. So if anybody else has tried them out, if anyone has any other input, let me know. I'd like to give it a shot sometime, but I'm not going to pay for it. I'm hoping somebody that has them already unlocked will let me try them out.
It just looks like so boring compared to the other characters because it's just a block.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
I feel like there's just so many more dynamic characters out there in the gaming space that you could have gone with. I feel this is low hanging fruit. It's such a popular game. It's such a
yeah,
popular character. Let's go with him. No, it's oh man, like wasn't a big fan of that. I've been very, very adamant about wanting to see Castle Crashers in Smash Brothers. I feel they would be perfect for the game. They would be a really good fit for the game, and that's definitely not low hanging fruit in my opinion. This definitely is, and yeah, they just, uh, you know, I guess I'm happy for the fans, but me personally, I wasn't too excited. Give me my Castle Crashers in Smash. I would love to see
I don't. I played you once, Caesar, in Smash at an event, and that was probably the last time I ever played Smash.
that.
I got beat, but then I beat you in Tekken, so it all
You
made
did. You did beat me in
it
Tekken.
all got better because of that.
Man, that was early on, right? That's when we just started the Tekken World Tour or
Yep,
the
yep.
Tekken
I was
National
a
Tour.
champion over you.
Yeah, and I never got my rematch. God.
Never got
Ugh.
because I retired. I retired champion.
Just in time.
Yep, one and done. That's what they call me.
Oh,
And,
who calls you that?
and anyway, moving on.
How much time we
Anthony, I
got?
know you.
How much time we got?
We have 5 minutes
5 minutes.
and
Okay,
56.
cool.
So Anthony will get through his PlayStation news,
Yeah.
and then
Well, just like
time out, and then we'll hop back on.
PlayStation's trickling in that info. So, and I don't know why there was a big hubbub about it. Was PlayStation made an announcement about changes to its store? So now you're not going to be able to buy PlayStation 3 titles or PSP or Vita. They're removing the wish list, avatars, themes. But that's not to say if you bought something on PlayStation 3, you'll still be able to access it, but you'll just need to do it through your PlayStation 3. You won't be able to do it through your other devices anymore. So I don't know. It's just it didn't seem like a weird thing to me because, well, one, the PlayStation and PS3, those have both been long discontinued in terms
Yeah.
of production. So, and I think we mentioned this too on one of the showcases where, is that really a big deal with the backwards compatibility with, especially with Sony users? Like if you really that gung ho about backwards compatibility, then you probably would not be upgrading to the next system per
Or
se.
you own the system and you have it set up to where you can just
Yeah.
play it. That's my thing. Like I don't really care about backwards compatibility because I don't see a world when the PS5 comes out that I'm going back to play PS3 games.
Yeah.
Like that's just me. Like there's like the rediscovery thing, I guess, when you go back, but I could do that hopefully from the PS5, depending on what game it is. Um, but yeah, I feel like if you're really big into playing old PlayStation games, and yeah, I feel like you own those systems, you own that stuff, and you would do it. You'd find a way to play those. So
The only second thing I could see, understand if like, yeah, since a lot of it is going digital now, like not being able to play a digital title from an older series without having to pull out the whole system and reconnect it just for that one game if you're feeling in the mood. I mean, we've talked about it on this show. Where it's like you have the DVD or the Blu-ray sitting there, but you won't get up and go grab it and put it in because the digital and streaming is so much more convenient. So that's exasperated by taking out an entire console and connecting it if you don't
But
have
if you're
it.
that gun-ho about playing old games, you will do that.
Yeah.
Or you already have your console already set up. It's just you just switching it over.
There have been times where if there's a game that I'm itching to play, and the only way for me to play it is by breaking out the console, there's a 50-50 chance I'm going to do it. I'm not going to say there's like an 80-20 that I'm actually going to do. No, it's 50-50. Like, man, do I really want to get up? Do I really want to set it all up? The good thing is most of those later consoles, or the older consoles, you don't have to wait for updates. So that's a good thing. You don't connect it, and then there's a huge update that you got to go through. So that's a good thing about that. But I will say this: if there's a digital version of it and it's available on the PlayStation 5, I might end up getting it only because of the convenience of being able to just hit play on it, as opposed to having to break out the console, set it all up, and play it.
Well, no, that's the whole thing. It's like there won't be a
I
digital
know.
version. So you won't even be able to access it on your new console. So even if you wanted to say, I want to play a game that was on the PSP or PlayStation 3, then you're going to have to physically bust out the system.
So they're not gonna. So those games are gone. They're never gonna release those games again.
They're gone from, they're gone from the store. Like if it's in your library on your PSN account, it's still accessible. You're just not going to be able to access it on the new system.
Okay, maybe I was just misunderstanding. Okay, I could see like people being upset about that then. Like if
Like,
so, I like
because
I
what's
thought
happening
that.
is people on the PlayStation 4, they're seeing stuff that they had purchased previous to PlayStation 4, like gone from the library. And they were freaking out because it's like, where did my shit go? But if the thing is it's like no longer appearing on that store, but if they were to log in with their account on a PlayStation 3, their titles would be there. So
I
yeah, it's
thought
like they
like
are removing it completely from the store in a
okay,
way.
that's kind of weird. Yeah, because I feel like when you get your PS5, like wouldn't it just make sense to offer those older games on the digital version?
You would think so, and I think that's what some people are up in arms about because it's like, well, why can't I play the digital version on the newer system? I can understand if it's the physical disc, but
Yeah,
why
so that's
can't?
so I could actually see like people being upset about that because then it just goes away that yeah, like I want the option to be able to buy it digitally or have it digitally and not have to pull out my whatever PlayStation I have. But yeah, so that's kind of weird. I can see that. I can see people being upset about that. I'm not upset about it because I'm not playing anything from that, but but I could
I,
see why people would be. Sorry about that, everybody. I had every intention to warn you guys that we were going to be disconnecting,
It
but I
happened.
just didn't. I just didn't pay attention to the time.
That's about what I figured.
I didn't want to interrupt you guys because you guys were talking, but
You
I
should
was
have
like,
interrupted
man,
us. You should have said something. That's funny though.
that felt dirty.
Yeah.
That was a good way to end this conversation because I wanted to
Mark
end the
said,
conversation.
Mark called, that's why they call you one and done.
Good callback. Good callback.
All right, guys. I think that was it. Anyways,
Well, no, we were finished with the thing. You were finishing your point.
I don't remember my point.
Oh my gosh.
It doesn't remember. My point is not even worth anything.
Look,
Oh.
in the end, it just comes down to it being old school again. Okay? It's like Super Nintendo went away. They stopped making games for it eventually. And there was a time where there were no digital versions of it. Same with the NES, same with the Sega Genesis. We're just back to that right now. And that's unfortunately where the PS3, PS2, I mean, is there everything below PS3 and down?
Yeah. So the only thing that's going to be available is PS4 and PS5 on the PlayStation Store.
And they're gonna re-release their most popular games, especially their first party and their exclusives. They're gonna re-release them. So
they're gonna do it like
I think it's a combination of they're trying to match, they're trying to establish their digital identity for what they want to do going forth. I mean, we saw a little bit of that showcase with the PS Plus collection. So I think that's kind of too what they're doing is they're trying to arrange the store where it's, because like how many of us are actually, because I'm sure they got the data too. It's like how many of us are actually going back and playing a lot of those old titles on like.
Oh, I imagine it's like very few.
Yeah. So it's like I think they, and that's space, that's maintenance, server maintenance that they have to, keep up on. So I think this is a way for them to like, okay, how can we make it more efficient? If we focus on the titles that are most popular, if we want to roll out this new collection, like you said, re-release, titles, make it a little bit more curated, as opposed, because it is, when you go through the PSN, it got really kind of cluttered. You could go down the rabbit hole and scroll and scroll and scroll and just see a lot of crap. There was a lot of stuff on there, especially with the avatars and some of the themes. It was just a little obnoxious at times. So hopefully it does, makes it a little more streamlined.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. That's the headlines. Unless anybody else has anything else.
Nope.
We got 40 minutes to get through the rest of our show, so we don't have to do the break again. 40 minutes. Well, now we're probably down to 35 minutes. All right. So our topic this week, we discussed. It's our spooky Halloween themed episodes.
Ooh.
Ooh, we forgot to mention what we were talking about last week, but we kind of gave a hint. So today we are gonna do Halloween season. It's Halloween. So we're gonna discuss like the top. We say 3 movies. Top 3 movies that you watch during this Halloween time. Not necessarily horror movies, but just ones that you associate with Halloween. So that was our topic. That's our topic of debate. I don't know if it's really a debate because I feel like when I see the list of everybody, I see like everybody's like, okay, I could see that. I can understand that. So I don't think it's really a debate, but it's really just going through our top 3 and why we enjoyed these movies. So that's our topic today. If you're in the chat, which you're probably not.
Let's see. Yeah, we got nobody in the chat.
But feel free to jump in if you're there.
They must have really not liked the
They did.
the hard out.
No, they're all watching AOC right now play Among Us.
We're watching that
World Series
apparently.
True, it is. The Dodgers are playing, right? Dodgers and Tampa Bay. Yeah, Finn actually comes. I picked Finn up, and he comes to me like after, and he's like, "Daddy, are you a fan of the Dodgers?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Oh." I was like, "Why? Do you like the Dodgers?" "Yes, I love baseball."
What?
And I'm like, "You've never watched, like, we've played like T-ball outside, but we've never watched baseball." But I think he like has friends at school that talked about the Dodgers, and And so now he's like, "Oh, I love Dodgers." And so then we had a sports conversation. And I was like, I don't watch those sports ball shows
Sports ball.
Well, speaking of sports ball
or meat
shows,
sports, as people I know they call it.
did anybody watch last night's game?
Which one?
Cardinals in Dallas.
No.
Let me just say,
You didn't watch that?
There is one
No.
funny thing that I do want to touch on. That it's funny and sad because after Dak Prescott was hurt, his teammates they rallied around him, right? And they said, "We're gonna dedicate the rest of the season to our quarterback Dak," and they followed it up with that performance. He's got to be worth more than Dak. Come on.
I
Wow.
don't know. It kind of shows like how much Dax was covering up a lot of their flaws.
It
Because
does.
a lot of things
It
happen.
does.
I don't know.
You didn't watch it? What?
I
I'm
didn't
so
watch
surprised.
it. I'm in 2 fantasy football leagues, but I only pay attention to football from my score. I do turn it on occasionally on Sundays, but
Oh, it was. Well,
two
as a
leagues.
Cardinals fan, it was finally nice to see them. It was one of the closer games. They're still not a complete team. There's no way that they can compete with the top, and that's why next week will be very interesting because they're playing the Seahawks in Arizona. So that will be a real testament on if they've actually arrived. But it was finally nice to see them put a more complete game.
yeah, all I know is Hopkins hasn't scored me any points these last 2 weeks, so he needs to step it up.
What do you mean? He did really good the week before.
Did he? No, I don't think so. I think he only had like 13 or something. He just needs to step it up. That's all I care about.
Why-
Moving
that's why
on,
they
because
call
I'm tired of these meat sports.
Hold on,
We're
hold on. I
talking
just want
horror.
to say
We're talking
this.
Halloween
I just want
movies.
to say this real quick.
No, I don't want to hear about your Kansas City Chiefs.
No, I wasn't
Like,
going to say anything about the Kansas City Chiefs.
Whoa.
I was just going to
Sorry,
say
go
that the
ahead.
Cowboys are still in first place.
That's true.
That's
It's really
sad.
bad. Yeah,
That's
that's
sad.
really
all I
bad.
wanna-
That
Look,
division, man.
Our
Oof.
viewers are going down the more.
What do you mean? They're already down.
Yeah, we're
Losing
at,
viewers.
We're at bare minimum.
Yeah, at this point, if we lose any viewers, it's going to be one of us.
We are literally dying hard right now.
Oh, another great callback.
Anyways, this is meant for the podcast, guys.
It's not a podcast. It's a live show.
Not a podcast.
Well, this is a
man.
live show, but the podcast that we're gonna upload, this is what we're doing. We're for them. That's what we're talking about. All right, so we're gonna talk
doing
about.
it for us.
We're doing for us. This is literally just our family, our friendship time, and we just decided to stream it because, why not? So top Halloween movies, guys, or top what? I'll start with you, Caesar. As I've mentioned, like I don't watch horror movies outside of this time of year, so it is a special time because I do feel like there's an obligation to watch movies that fit this time of the year or fit the season. So I'm excited about this conversation. So I'm gonna start with you, Caesar. What do we got? What's one of your movies?
So what are we doing? I'm giving you just one, and then we're moving on, or should I just give all my three?
Up to you, man.
Okay. Well, I don't really watch these movies on an annual basis. I wish I did, but like I said, Halloween to me is just Halloween. That's not one of my favorite holidays or anything. But
Way to start the subject off, man.
But growing up, these movies do have a lot of they do bring back a lot of nostalgia for me. A lot. Every time I watch them, I remember the feeling when I was a kid, and remember those Octobers when I did watch them then, and it feels good to watch them now. And I separated them into categories where I got my feel good movie that I like to that I think is really good for October or for Halloween. I got my scary movie. I remember how that movie made me feel when I was a kid. I was fucking freaked out. And then one in between. A little scary and a little, more comedic. But I'm going to start with my feel-good movie. And that one for me is Ghostbusters. I love... What?
Okay, because I was looking, I was like, which is the feel good one?
It's Ghostbusters,
And then he
dude.
said, which is the one like a little in between? Because I feel like Beetlejuice could be a feel good one. I just ruined your other movie.
Yeah, you did. You just ruined my
There you
in-betweener.
go,
Thanks.
man.
But yeah,
There you go.
Ghostbusters is definitely my feel-good movie. It's not a movie that ever scared me. It was a little eerie, especially in the library when you see that the librarian floating.
Librarian, yeah.
Yeah, that's an awesome scene, and that's the opening scene to this fucking movie. It's fantastic. But then you got ridiculous things like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. That's fucking awesome. It's just such an awesome movie. It's such a feel good movie, and
The
fuck,
cast is incredible.
don't worry,
Yeah.
Bill Murray. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing cast, absolutely. Just funny. Egon. I remember when I was a kid, I used to love Egon, and I always said that I was Egon. Oh, I'm Egon. Whenever I was with friends at school and we got to pick who we were going to play, and I always picked Egon. But yeah, Ghostbusters definitely still a movie that
That makes me laugh.
you telling me you never acted out who
No,
you're
no,
going to
no,
be
no.
with a
It's
Ninja
just like
Turtle?
you picking Egon. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I never not see you as an Egon.
I always went with the nerdy types. I always
Nerdy
went with
guys,
the,
yeah.
I always went with the small nerdy types. But
fun.
yeah, Ghostbusters. And since you ruined my middle one,
Okay, we talk and we'll get on it. Go.
but yeah, Beetlejuice. That would be the in between, where it's still a fun movie, and there's there's a lot of creepiness going on in this movie. Let's fucking be real.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I was
this
gonna say,
one.
really? Like, I don't. That's what I was kind of figuring out. Like, I guess I don't see the creepiness.
Oh, you who's afraid of everything?
that's
Yeah,
really
it
odd.
could be because, like I said, like older movies don't like older scary movies or older type movies that are like Halloween don't really creep me out anymore. Like maybe as a kid I might have been, but yeah, I don't watch Beetlejuice now and think that's creepy. I just think I that's why I was like, it's kind of a feel good movie to me too. I don't know.
No, don't get me wrong. Like I said, it's still for me. It's an in betweener mainly because it's still a feel good movie, especially now. But as a kid, this movie kind of freaked me out. There were some things in this movie that really freaked me out, especially the couple they die. I was kind of afraid of death when I was a kid, and then I got to see them go through the process of that. That freaked me out. The lady with the hole in her throat, smoking out of it, that freaked me out. The guy that was completely burned in
That's
the
true.
lobby, all that type of stuff really freaked me out. So that's why, as a kid, this movie was creepy to me. And when they do the whole stretchy thing on their face, I mean, come on,
Oh,
man,
yeah,
that
when they do the
is
scariness.
freaky.
Yeah.
And can we talk? I'm a huge, huge fan of Michael Keaton. And his performance here, God, oh my God, amazing. All right, just amazing. That's all I'm going to leave it at, is his performance was amazing. Beetlejuice is a damn fun movie. It's more fun now to me than it was as a kid. But
I could see that. Yeah, and then
it's-
just even watching the trailer. I watched it a couple nights ago. It was on TV and I watched it. And yeah, I don't see it. But as a kid, yeah. I think probably the creepiest thing is I was always creeped out by people that would had the hole from smoking in their throat.
ugh.
Now,
Yeah, but no,
Yeah.
it's a fun film. Definitely a good pick for a Halloween or just any time of the year. Honestly, this movie is just fun. But since I've already given you my two, I gave you my feel good movie. I gave you my in between movie. I want to give my last one, and this movie fucking creeped me out as a kid. I had trouble watching it. This is probably the reason why I'm not very easily scared anymore. It probably desensitized me from that. But Child's Play. That movie was a mind fuck for me as a kid. That movie creeped me the fuck out. There were certain dolls that I could not be around because of this fucking movie. And I want to touch on the fact that there was a remake not too long ago that was complete garbage compared to this movie. This is a fucking masterpiece when it comes to horror movies. And man, do I wish we still had animatronics nowadays, because you cannot pull off a Chucky like you did in this movie. Everything this fucking doll did in this movie creeped me the fuck out. His face, everything, so good. And the fact that it wasn't a demon doll, no, it was just taken over by some asshole. He just did some voodoo on the doll to save his own life, and he transferred his fucking spirit, his soul, onto the doll, and that's what made the doll come to life. It's not a demonic doll, but that's such a great story. It's so fucking cool. And what is he doing throughout that fucking movie? Is he's trying to possess the body of a child. As a kid watching that, I'm freaked the fuck out. Okay, I don't want
I
no fucking dog trying to take over my body.
I remember as a kid being as younger being creeped out by it. But then I think by like as I got a little older in my teens, I just was like questioning like how a doll can kill a man. And I
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
oh yeah.
how can like this kid when he's like strangling him in the car. Um, and I'm like, it's a doll. Like even if the doll had like human strength, it's still like the leverage and like it still wouldn't like so I just started to question everything about it. Um, but it
No,
was creepy. But I
I
do love how the series got more like pop like cultish in the sense like
yes.
the bride of like it just became more outrageous. Kind of like the Leprechaun movies. How they started off like the first one like started off where it was kind of creepy. But then it just got more ridiculous, and then you like Leprechaun in space and Leprechaun in the Hood, and you just got like I thought I didn't watch the actually newest Child Play, the remake, but the original was good. I like the original one.
I do have an honorable mention, but I'll mention it at the end if we get to it. But yeah, those are my top three. So
I was gonna say it's really hard because Ghostbusters obviously I think would be on like most people's lists, or and that's one that I watch every year. Um, I can't wait for the election season to be over, guys. So my phone can I could have my text messages back. I'm sorry. um, Beetlejuice is another one. So that's a good list. Child's Play actually I wouldn't have put on that list for me, just because it's not one that is like memorable outside of. I think it like when it comes to like dolls, I think like Puppet Master was probably more memorable to me as a kid than like Child's Play.
I don't
But that's
know. I don't know what it was about Puppet Master. I actually enjoyed Puppet Master. I was a
yeah,
little older. I was definitely a little older, and that's probably what it was. Like I enjoyed the design of these puppets. Like
yeah,
I
that's
watched
what
it because I thought they looked fucking awesome. I was never really freaked out by Puppet Master.
yeah, that's what
That's
like that's I'm the same way. Like I was big into puppets and everything, and so I just love the puppets in Puppet Master, and that kind of was like yeah. So Chucky was like cool, but Puppet Master was my jam. So, but yeah, Anthony, you're up next. You're another person that doesn't really care about Halloween.
Whoa.
You made that very clear.
No, I think well, we already touched base on Beetlejuice. Same thing. A lot of the same sentiments were watching it as a kid. Really freaked me out. Just because it was very ghoulish.
mhm.
And I think as a kid, you're just kind of freaked out by that stuff. And it is kind of a dark, creepy little movie. Um, and then Hocus Pocus, only because Samantha's a big fan of that. It's kind of a good one to watch during the holidays. And then Nightmare Before Christmas, tend to like watching that during the holidays. I didn't know too much about it. Well, I didn't follow a lot of the Tim Burton stuff after his later works after Batman and so forth. But when I did watch it the very first time a few years back, yeah, I was really surprised and kind of got into it quite a bit. But yeah, Hocus Pocus tends to be a big treat just because it's, well, and also too, it's, my wife has two sisters, so it's the whole three sister thing really strikes a chord with them.
I was gonna say is that why they enjoy it so much
Yeah,
outside of.
it's a big reason. So they find it very
Dude,
funny and
so
entertaining.
who do they have who they are? Now I'm like curious.
Yeah, if I remember correct, yeah. I don't want to say because I don't want to screw up the order again or the order, but I think yeah, they joke around like each one of them acts similar to one of the sisters. Yeah.
Now I'm curious which one Samantha thinks she is. Hocus Pocus for me is it's another one that was like it's hard because it's one that I watch every year. Like I actually haven't watched it this year, but I guarantee I'll watch it before Halloween. Because it's fun. It's just
Well, it seems like it's a lot of people's one of their
yeah.
favorite movies because we said too they did a re-release in drive-in
Mhm.
movies, um, and that has done really well this year. It's been I think number one on 2020.
Oh wow, yeah, that's cool. I know they're doing a reunion. I think it's coming up too.
Oh, cool.
It's like a television special. I don't know. It's
Hmm.
for one. I feel like it's for one of the streaming platforms. They're doing a reunion with
Disney
everybody.
Plus. That would make sense, right?
Is
Yeah,
it?
since it's
Yeah,
a
it is.
Disney.
Yeah, it's a Buena Vista, right?
Yeah, which
Um,
is really funny because when you go to IMDb, the it's only a 6.9 out of 10. So I would have thought it'd been a lot higher, just because it seems like
I
a
feel like
lot of people talk about it.
I feel like it's grown though. Like when IMDb, when they probably first rated it, like everybody rated it early on, and so, but it's like exploded in popularity in the last like 10 years.
Yeah, that's
Um,
what's interesting. And when you look at the breakdown, it's really interesting with the breakdown because 20% of the vote is they rated it 10, but then 21% rate it 7, and then 16% rate it 8.
Jesus.
So it's a very interesting, like,
how do they get a 6.9? Oh, I guess the
it's
rest
the average, yeah.
their
So like,
average. Yeah.
so a weighted, they say weighted out vote of 6.9. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Get
Yeah,
him. Get him.
dogs are upset about it,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
No, I really like that movie. It's a
It's
good
a good
movie.
movie.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
I recently rewatched it with Lonnie. It's a fun flick. It's fun. Don't expect
Yeah,
to be
it kind
freaked
of hits all
out.
those. Yeah, it kind of hits all those. All the age groups, the whole family. It's got a little bit of the feels.
I wanted to send over a
Kooky.
trailer. Sorry, you can go. Sorry, didn't want to cut you off.
I don't know. It's just, yeah, it just kind of hits all the main points. It feels like it's kind of kooky. Or kooky. It's campy. It's fun. Yeah.
I was gonna say there's like a trailer where someone made it into like an actual like horror movie trailer, and so they took like the
Oh, I've seen
creepy
that.
parts about it, and it was cool. Like when she's like cutting the window to get inside, like cutting the screen. Like pretty creepy when you, when you do it that way.
When you add the right music and the right
Yeah, like
narration.
it's yeah. I also love like Doug Jones is in it as the zombie. I forgot the
Yeah.
zombie's name, but I thought that was fun. I'm a huge fan of Doug Jones as just like an actor, like a character actor and a movement actor. I I just love his work, so it's cool to
Oh.
see him. Um, yeah, and Nightmare Before Christmas, it's like a classic. It's classic stop motion. Mine when we get to mine, it's like I'm a huge fan of like stop motion animation. And yeah, so Nightmare Before Christmas. That's always really cool. It's like weird, like everybody to have the debate over Halloween Christmas movie. I think it's just like a seasonal film. It's
Hmm.
like you start watching it from now until Christmas, and you can watch it through Christmas because I feel it's just
You
seasonal.
treat it like they treat it at Disneyland. They start the Haunted Mansion Nightmare Before Christmas in October, and it runs all the way to January.
Yeah, it's just seasonal. Yep.
No, but yeah, that's this is definitely a major guilty pleasure of mine because I know nowadays people give you crap. It's like, oh, you like Nightmare Before Christmas? Who doesn't? I fucking love this movie. I watched the shit out of it. I remember getting a VHS version before the movie even released, and I'm sure my mom got tired of listening to the fucking songs. I
It's
guarantee it.
Halloween.
Yeah, I guarantee it. But yeah, like
Danny Elfman, man. Oh,
yes, like every fucking song in this movie is so good, and Jack Skellington still to this day my favorite character of all time, Jack Skellington. And I remember being in school, fresh out of high school, and attending my first art class in a college or a fucking private university, the Art Institute. And our teacher went all around the horn asking everyone what their favorite character is. I was literally the only one that said Jack Skellington. Nowadays, if you had a classroom, you probably have like 20% of that classroom say Jack Skellington. So, very, very happy that you picked this one. Still at the very top of my list. But like Jansen said, this is a seasonal movie for me. This is a movie that I can watch anytime.
that's interesting that it's your favorite character
Yeah,
of
Jack
all
Skellington.
time.
I love the way he was designed. You know, just really tall, really
Lanky, like
yeah, and that face was fucking awesome. I loved the way he was designed, and I have I don't know if you remember when we worked at Wizardwood at the office. I actually had that
mhm.
that replica of him. on my desk. So still have that. And actually, our bedroom is a Nightmare Before Christmas themed. So big
Huh,
fan. Big fan.
interesting. I did not know that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I thought it's great. Yeah. All right, so moving on to me, guys. So I had a really hard time narrowing it down to three. So I have one, two, three, four, five, six. I cut a seventh one, but I just cut that before the show went. So I'm trying to narrow it down. I'm going to get your guys' help on how to narrow it down, and you guys can narrow it down to my top three. So, as I mentioned, I don't like in previous things. I can't really handle scary movies, like super scary movies. Older stuff I could watch, like Child's Play, like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, those ones, because they're more campy to me now. But any like new horror movie is or scary movie, anything monster. Actually, that's not true. Anything monster related, I could deal with because like yeah, like monsters I could deal with. Someone's gonna come in.
You say monsters, but you're thinking Monsters Inc., aren't you?
Yes, I'm thinking like I'm thinking more like Creature of the Black Lagoon, like those
Gotcha.
type. Oh, someone's coming in. Hold on. Who do we got? Who do we got? You need. Oh, I don't actually. Okay.
And she's out.
Uh, she needs her tape measure, and I don't know where it's at.
This is one of those shows.
Yeah, it's like we're chatting and we're just doing it live, and
Yeah.
we're just on a phone call, and people walk in. That was my wife, everybody. That was Tasha.
She didn't come up on camera, and I didn't go single
Oh, she
shot on
didn't
you.
come up.
No.
Oh, okay. She didn't even know. Oh, so maybe she can get that if she doesn't come up on camera. Okay, well. Um. So yeah, I don't watch too many scary things. But I do love like Halloween season. So if there is a time to watch them, it's this time. And I learned last week, like Tasha was out of town last weekend, this past weekend, and I was like, I'm gonna try to watch some scary stuff and um like see if I can get through it. And then I had to shut it off because like it was just Finn and I, and Finn was sleeping, and our house is just like super creaky. It was like all made out of wood.
And you were really, really scared.
I was really scared, and
Bird.
I had to turn on like a feel good show to to counter, and then I like had to lock all the doors, and I slept with a frying pan next to the bed because we because that's creepy. So my list to start is I've talked about this forever. Lost Boys is on my list. I'm a huge fan of vampires. I think it's one of the best vampire movies ever made. Um, I have I just love Lost Boys. It's not scary in any way. It's comedy to me. Just a really good, solid uh, movie. I wouldn't say it's like a full blown comedy, but it's very like it's like a I almost view it more than like an adventure. Like I guess that's the way that I could put the way I like horror movies. If it's more like a scary like an adventure type thriller or something, but there's like very much adventure component to it. I enjoy it, and so like kids banding together to defeat vampires is awesome. It's kind of like why I like Vampire in the Bronx because it's like kids banding together. But this is yeah, I just related to it as a younger kid too because the main character obviously loves comic books and vampires and like visually it's just super freaking cool. So that's one of them. Um, the next up is one that I think everybody's on everybody's list, or should be Adam's Family. Um, uh, not the TV series, but obviously like the movies. Huge fan of that one. Watch it every year. I've already watched it this year. I've watched Adam's Family Values too. Uh, I like both of them. I think Adam's Family, the first one, is the best one. But I'm super bummed that uh, that the main guy passed away. Um, and I'm just terrible with the name right now, and I can't think of his name.
Talking about
Oh my
Gomez, right?
God, what's that?
Talking about Gomez.
Yeah, Gomez. Yeah, with
He
Adam.
passed
And we
away
only.
a long time ago, didn't he?
Yeah, he passed away. But I felt like he passed away really young, so I felt
Yeah,
like he
yeah.
could have got more. And we only have 10 minutes left, guys, before this
Whoa.
Zoom call comes to an end. So we may have to bounce out again and do it one last time, unless we can finish this in 10 minutes, which we can try to do.
Or do we want to just go to like our rediscovery, what we're gonna go doing moving forward?
Let's.
Yeah, we'll skip what we're reading, watching. Well, okay, so I'll try to burn through these so we don't have to do this again. So Adam Family, so Lost Boys. My next up is Idle Hands. If you, I'm just a huge fan of it. It's what, like, my childhood crush on Jessica Alba came from Idle Hands. I like everything about that movie cracks me up, and I just love that film. Um, then also on that list is The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox. It's probably, I feel like, is like probably the scariest of them. Because I feel like there is like some scary, like creepy components. Like I'm not a huge fan. Like I think like ghosts and stuff creep me out. Like paranormal stuff. So The Frighteners is on that list. Then Paranorman. Speaking of stop motion, I'm a huge fan of Paranorman. Anything Leica Animation Studios puts out, I'm a diehard fan, but Paranorman is one of my favorites. And then also to top that off is probably one that I think is you guys haven't seen because we were talking about it, but my favorite werewolf movie and the best werewolf movie ever made is Dog Soldiers, which is on my list, and that's about a group of soldiers, SAS soldiers that are on a training mission in the middle of the woods, and they come across a werewolf pack. So that's my list, guys. So we're gonna try to narrow it down in 5 minutes. So what are your thoughts? Have you seen any of those? What do you guys think? What do you get? Give me your thoughts.
I'm a huge fan of The Frighteners. Huge fucking fan.
Okay.
I think that movie is so fun, and you're right. It is. It's still very creepy. But yeah, it's more fun than it is creepy, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
it's such a good movie. If you're a big fan of Back to the Future and Michael J. Fox, I put this right up there with Back to the Future as far as Michael J. Fox movies because it's that good, and I'm surprised not a lot of people know about this movie. I am very shocked. Like I recently talked to a few people and they've never heard about the Frighteners. Like what the hell? But no,
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember working at Blockbuster Video, and just the box cover for it is creepy to me too. It's like the wall where it's like somebody's like face pushing out through the wall, like you see in those things.
yeah, I'm
But
showing
yeah,
it right
no,
now.
a lot of people, uh, yeah, it's not one that people think of. Yeah, that's creepy. I just remember that as a working in Blockbusters, walking past it. Um,
No, it's
but
fun. It's clever. I mean, you're talking about Michael J. Fox, who plays a guy that has a sixth sense, and he can talk to ghosts, but he uses these ghosts to pretty much con people.
calling people, yep,
Fucking genius, in
so
my
good.
opinion. Yeah, it's a fun watch, and still very shocked that not a lot of people have seen this movie.
I feel bad because I don't remember this movie very well since it's been so long. I saw it years and years and years ago, so I really want to rewatch it to check it out. And it sucks too because a lot of the movies on your list, I haven't seen Dog Soldiers or Idle Hands,
I have not seen that one either.
so
I
I can't really comment too much because I don't know what I never experienced them really.
Yeah, so Dog Soldiers is pretty much just like, yeah, like I mentioned, it's soldiers that come across a wolf pack and how they survive, and they just like battling it out. Idle Hands is a teenager's hand gets possessed by a murderer, and so he's
It
like
does
it's
things.
yeah, so it does things that kills people, but he has no control over it, and so it's
I mean, definitely the premise sounds really cool for
it
both of
has like
those
Seth
movies.
Green in it. It has like I said, like yeah, it's super good. Yeah,
And
I just don't know. And there's like, yeah, it's so hard because there's so many movies. It's really tough. Um, my brother just texted me every movie you listed I've watched in the last month. So my brother's watching.
That's awesome.
nice.
um, yeah, it's just so tough to narrow down those movies. I just don't know how to narrow them down. And
How
there's
much?
probably more that I couldn't even think of. Like you could put Beetlejuice, you could
How
put
much? How
Ghostbusters.
much time do we have?
We have 4 minutes and 41 seconds.
Okay, good because yeah, this movie's awesome, but I definitely think we want to help you narrow it down. I'm gonna go with the next one, Adam's Family. I mean, that's how can you not? Such a huge movie, such a huge, so well known, and easily one of my favorite characters, played by Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, yep, Uncle Fester. Yeah. Everybody in that movie is great. Like all the characters in the movie are great.
Yeah, and I agree with you. The first one is still the best one, although the second one is not to take anything away from the second one. You know, you hear so many times that oh my god, the sequel is terrible. In this case, that's not the case at all. The sequel is a fun watch. The first one I enjoyed it a lot more, but the sequel is still very fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, like the sequel has the Thanksgiving play, which I
Oh,
think
that's
is
right. Yes.
just incredible. Um, so there we go. We don't have to narrow down anything. We'll just keep it at 6. Why narrow down? Really no point in it.
Well, I mean,
And
we're
I can't
narrowing
even
it
say
down
like these are my
now.
top 3 because there's probably ones that I forgot that I haven't. There's like, yeah, there's probably ones that I forgot. My brother will probably text me later on. You forgot like, what about this one? And I'll be like, oh crap, I didn't even think about that movie.
I mean, you talk about childhood crushes. Christina Ricci was definitely one of mine. So
Yeah, yeah. I was even like, I was looking back when I was looking through like old, like what I could watch that isn't like too creepy. Like Sleepy Hollow came up. Which
yes.
and I remember like I haven't watched that in a long time, but that was a really good movie too. Like I enjoyed it. Um, yeah,
Yeah, one the honorable mention
Soldiers
that
is
I
my
wanted to
brother's
talk
favorite.
about real quick. I won't take too long. Is Tales from the Hood. I don't know if you guys ever saw that
Yeah,
movie. That's a damn good movie, man. That movie is actually fucking scary.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Oh my god! I wish I had a trailer, but it literally hit me today. It hit me today during the show. I was like, "Fuck! I should have gone with Tales from the Hood because that movie is damn good." Um,
I was just
Seriously, all jokes aside, like that movie is genuinely fucking creepy.
there's that kind of reminds me of like Tales from the Crypt Demon Knights. It was really
Oh,
creepy.
so fun. So
Yeah, like
fun.
that one's cool. And just like the demons and uh I think if I remember hearing correctly, like the people that played the demons literally were just like some of them were like ballerinas because they could walk on their tippy toes in the costume the entire time. I
Oh,
don't
that
know
makes sense.
if I'm just like miss. I feel like I read that somewhere or someone told me that at some point in my life, but I'm gonna stick with it and just say that it's fact. So that's but
What's
see, there's just so many. There's like so many movies. Like one that was on my list is which is that I pulled off is like Witches, the original Witches. They have the remake that's coming out on HBO Max. I think this week, but the original Witches with Angelica Houston. Um, it's just creepy. And as a kid, you're like, I remember watching it and thinking as a kid, like, this is a really pretty creepy movie about witches that turn little boys or children into mice and then eat them. It's just like this convention of witches essentially. We're gonna go offline in 1 minute, so we can't finish up. So guys, I apologize. What's gonna happen is we're gonna go offline. Caesar's gonna take us off. It's gonna be less than a minute, and then we're gonna be back, and we'll finish up the discussion, and then we'll talk about how we're gonna move forward with Rediscover Geek and Rediscovery um, at
consider
the
this
very end.
consider this a quick commercial break.
Quick commercial break. Stay tuned. Support our sponsors. I don't know what they are, but support them. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back. That was quicker than a minute. Thank you for tuning around. If you stuck around, we just lost somebody, so someone didn't stick around. Again, I kind of lost track of what we were talking about because I get sidetracked really.
You were talking about witches, and then you said, "Oh, we're running out of time."
Yeah, so that was kind of like an honorable mention. The only reason I bring that up too is they have the remake that's coming out on HBO Max. I think 23rd, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So later this week, and I'm looking forward to it. It was supposed to be released in theaters, I believe. It has like Anne Hathaway and a bunch of people in it, like a pretty good like cast in it. So I'm curious to see because it's more CG and unlike the original, is just like creepy with like just prosthetics and the witch prosthetics. And I don't know, have you guys seen the original Witches?
I have, yes.
Anthony, you need to catch up on these movies, boy.
You're missing the whole rediscovery part of the show.
Yeah.
You haven't seen any of the old stuff.
Yeah.
My brother's asking. He's not in Slack, so he's just texting me, and he's talking about Dog Soldiers, and he said you can't find it on DVD though. I believe you can actually find it. You could purchase it online. There's like digital. You can get digital versions of it. But yeah, so all these movies check out if you haven't watched it. Some of them, yeah, if you haven't seen any of them, check them all out.
Dog Soldiers is the only one that I haven't seen from your list, so I'll definitely be checking into that. It looks fun from the trailer, and what I've researched, it looks good, and I like the design of these werewolves. They look beastly.
That's like that's one of the reasons I really liked it, because it actually had like a more werewolf design to me.
Yeah, so huge, so tall.
I really like. I think that's like the biggest thing. I don't even remember the Wolfman with Antonio Banderas. Is it? No, it was not Antonio Banderas. Who played in the remake of Wolfman with Anthony Hopkins?
I don't know. You're thinking Zorro though.
Yeah, I'm thinking no. Oh God, why can't I think of it? Oh my memory is just so terrible. If any, but Wes, if you remember, who played Wolfman? And yeah, I was really looking forward to that remake when it came out, but I just don't feel like they make good like werewolf movies. It's not very like. I feel like you could make a really good werewolf movie.
I agree with you.
Benicio del Toro, there we go.
Benicio del Toro, that's right.
Oh my God, now I feel bad that I got him mixed up.
With Antonio Banderas.
I know, I feel really bad. Anyway. So now that we have extra time, we can go through what are we reading, watching. Most of it's the same as what we've been in the past. So we'll go through this really quick, and then we'll get into our final topic on what we're going to do moving forward to kind of get more involvement, like more rediscovery out of our show. So reading, watching, playing. You're up, Anthony. Go. What do you got?
I'm trying to wrap up Fargo season 3. Just on the last couple episodes, and then we'll be good to go for season 4. And then dive right into Mandalorian season 2. Playing Destiny 2. It's what was interesting with Destiny is that Bungie did a big thing where they hit the ban hammer on a company that was providing cheats for PC players.
Did you use them?
No, I don't use them.
Oh, okay.
But that was a big deal in the community. So, because there's a lot of cheaters out there with the competitive mode activity. And yeah, there's a lot of excitement about that. So, should hopefully level the playing field, but we'll see.
I just feel like they're always going to, like, cheaters, they're just always going to find a way to cheat. Like
yeah,
it's like hacking, right? It's just like you have to always stay ahead of it, and so they'll come up with the next way, and then they'll have to make a fix for it. But by that time, they're coming up with a new way to cheat.
yeah,
yeah.
It's kind of shitty, but yeah, they're still doing the Festival of the Lost, and there's 3 weeks until the new DLC drops, so that's kind of a big deal. So a lot of activity right now in the gaming clan I'm part of. Everybody's trying to help each other to get some of the stuff loot that's going away and finish up exotic quests and all that good stuff. So yeah.
Cool.
Excitement.
Yeah, it's hard with Destiny because there's a part of it that's very enjoyable, but then we joke that the grind is
I was
real.
gonna say the grind, yeah. I feel like that's what like every like WoW is the same way.
And it's
Like
just
when
some yeah, and sometimes you kind of worry, you wonder if it's really worth it.
no, I think it is. You're getting enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, but it's a lot of time. It's a time sink, and I think it's one of those things where it's yeah, it's just you know you'll sit there and yeah play on a Saturday or a Sunday, and it's like holy shit, where'd the whole day go?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the scary part.
Either you're up. What do you got?
Nothing's changed as far as what I'm playing. Still playing Bioshock. So, like I said, it's my usual October game, Bioshock and Bioshock 2, Bioshock Infinite. I usually play that earlier in the year, but yeah, these are my creepy games to go to. Every now and then, I will go into a Silent Hill, but yeah, Bioshock is usually my annual October game. As far as what I'm watching, that is something new. I just started this. I've seen it. I've seen it before. Attack on Titan. I restarted it. I was 2 episodes in, and then I realized, you know what? I'm gonna start. I'm gonna rewatch it again because I want to introduce Lonnie to it. So, Attack on Titan available on Hulu. And I mentioned this to you guys yesterday. Hulu has definitely stepped up their anime category very recently, and Attack on Titan is on there. So, if you haven't seen this, definitely highly recommend this show. It's so good, and it actually fits the October theme because it is fucking creepy. What's going on Attack on
Oh
Titan is
yeah.
fucking creepy, dude. So,
Yeah,
definitely the show I would recommend, and looking forward to introducing this to Lonnie. I think she's gonna enjoy this very much.
sweet.
My brother just texted me. He texted me, quote, I could, in Dog Soldier, there's right before one of the soldiers gets eaten, and he just looks at he's about to get eaten by the werewolf, and he's like, just says to the werewolf, I hope I give you the shits. Yeah, you'd really have to watch the
Good
movie.
sign off. Good
It's
sign
really,
off.
really good. Um, yeah, um, so for me, I'm still playing Baldur's Gate 3. I've actually probably put more time now into this than Final Fantasy, which I'm sorry, guys. Um,
Ridiculous.
no, I no, I love Final Fantasy, but like Baldur's Gate is kind of like it's right up my alley. It's like everything I grew up with as a kid, like Dungeons and Dragons and like Forgotten Realms and like that whole like fantasy book novels that I read, like that whole series. So that's why I'm like so much enjoying it. So I'm still playing that. It's really great. I highly recommend it if you can play it. I was just reading too that like it's takes a pretty powerful computer to play it like on the like I don't have it at the scale of graphics that it needs to because just like my fan instantly kicks on the moment if I put it to like the high graphics. So I play it on medium graphics because like PC can't handle the probably can't handle it. So I'm still playing that, and then this weekend I was saying I was trying to watch scary stuff, but then I turned on Hellstrom, which is the new Marvel. It was like the last era of like Jeff Loeb and the Marvel TV that just got released on Hulu, and it's kind of like they're creepy. Uh, it's about like spirits, demons, and stuff like that. So I started watching that. It's getting really bad reviews. I'm 2 episodes in. I actually don't mind it. I think it's enjoyable. Um, it's it's not like that level of scary where I'm super creeped out by it because in the back of my mind I know it's based off of like a comic book.
What
Oh,
is
that's what I
it?
was gonna ask. So it is
Yeah, it's
based
a
off of.
yeah, it's a Marvel series, so it's based
Mm,
after Hellstrom
It kind
like
of reminds
characters.
me of Constantine from what I've seen in the
Yeah,
trailer.
that's what it is. It's essentially he's goes it's brother and sister who were raised by their father was like a mass serial killer. And they have like I'm still into early into the series. So, but
was it a comic book series for a while, or was it just like a graphic novel? Was it like a one
no, I
shot?
think I don't think it was a series. I think it's based off of a character, Son of
Mm.
Satan, like his character in the comic book. But I don't think it's the same storyline. I never read any of the comic books that had this character in it. But I like looking back, I don't like when I kind of like when I was researching it, I don't think the storyline is I don't think it follows anything like storyline. It's very much like a John Constantine. But I enjoy it. I think it's just it's a made for TV like horror series, right? It's like um um so I'm watching that, and then I also started between that I went back to like Hannibal because I'm still really trying to finish Hannibal. So um yeah, so that's what I'm watching. And so as we didn't talk about this, and we don't really ever talk about this outside of Anthony saying, "Oh, I'm just reading comic books." So we've done a really, I'll admit this, we've done a poor job of rediscovering like comics, or like, not, I wouldn't say like a poor job of rediscovering, but like we're trying to, like, through discussions we've been like talking about how do we like really kind of like or showcase the rediscovery portion of our show and podcast. um and I like we've all like kind of like go back through and talk about what we've been like watching, but then there's some stuff like I just went through. This is not like a slight on anybody, but I just went through like movies like people haven't seen Dog Soldiers, or like any of them, like some of the films I had, or like we watch TV and like, oh, I haven't watched Hannibal. I'm still trying to catch up on Hannibal, and you guys are through it. Or like games, like hell, I'm still in Wall Market for Final Fantasy VII. Like, so I think what we decided, and this is that especially for like the reading and the comics, we don't even really ever touch on comics, which is kind of like sad. And it's interesting, like, because I love comics. I have a comic book store, but I read very little comics now. Like I spend more of my time just going through and cataloging comics and seeing what I have than actually reading it. And so for like the remaining, like what are we reading, watching, playing? We're gonna moving forward, we're going to each week we have a set of stuff that we're gonna read or watch or play, and we're going to be discussing it almost like a review, like a book club essentially. Like for a comic it'd be like a weekly book club, or like the next week it'll be a review thing. And I don't even think I'm explaining this properly, but probably not.
It's
So
your plan.
it's true, and I'm not doing a great job of planning it. um so so for example, like we didn't read anything, but so next week we all got digital library cards. I actually have the graphic novel, but we're all going to rediscover, and we're all going to read Killing Joke next week, or this week, and we're going to discuss it next week. Caesar hasn't read it. I haven't read it in a long time, and I'm super curious about it. Because like I remember thinking it's really, really great. It's iconic. People, when they think of it, it's like one of the Batman storylines that everybody talks about. I can't remember if it's any good or not. Just looking, I know the art's awesome. But I have like a love-hate relationship with Alan Moore, so I imagine I'm gonna read through this and think that it wasn't as good as I remember as a kid. And if I really just got so hyped up because other people thought it was such an amazing story, that it just hyped me up into thinking it was like an all-time great Batman story. Outside of the art, I mean that image is iconic, like the Joker image. Um, so we're gonna read that. That's our thing for next week. The following week, so 2 weeks from now, it's going to be Rediscover a Movie, and we decided we're going to watch Dick Tracy and discuss Dick Tracy. Anybody that's watching, if you obviously if you want to read The Killing Joke, to join in. Dick Tracy's on HBO Max. I think it's on HBO too, right? Or is it just a Max thing? Or you can watch Dick Tracy. So we're gonna watch Dick Tracy because we haven't watched it, and it's such an underrated comic book movie, and probably still one of the best comic book movies ever made. So colorful too, and Al Pacino, like. I'm thinking like Madonna, like people that were in that movie, like holy cow, Warren Beatty. So that's 2 weeks from now. 3 weeks from now, so we have a little more time. Caesar touched on this, like I think probably like in episode 10, 11. My brother's watched Dick Tracy twice recently, so he's way ahead of us. You should be writing this in chat. That's right, Al Pacino is. I'm gonna save that for the conversation. Sorry, and
all this information would definitely be better in chat, so people could see what's going on.
Yeah. You need to say this in chat. Stop texting me and just put it in chat, man. Get an account. Like, so next week, 2 weeks from now, so next week, Killing Joke. 2 weeks from now, Dick Tracy is going to be Rediscover Film. Then every 3 weeks, we're going to go on month cycle. Is going to be Rediscover Television. A few episodes back, probably like 5 or 10 episodes back. It's either you started watching Doogie Howser, and I started watching it. I watched the first 2 episodes, and I know Anthony really wants to watch it. So we're gonna try to get through as far as we can on the season, first season of Doogie Howser. I actually want to watch it because it's like just those first 2 episodes when we discussed it. Like, first episode alone was just, I was shocked and amazed that this was on regular television back then because of like some of the issues. Yeah. So we're gonna watch Doogie Howser. That's on Hulu. What is he laughing at? What are you guys laughing at?
No, you're right. I'm laughing because I'm agreeing with you. You're absolutely right.
No, but Anthony's like cracking up over here.
Oh, he's laughing at you.
Why is he laughing at me?
I don't know.
Whatever. Anyways, and the fourth one, so we have a month now to play, and with video games, it's gonna take us a long time. So from now until, oh, look it's
Wow,
Brittany.
stranger.
Wow. Hey Brittany, how you doing? Now I lost my train of thought. So
Damn it, Brittany.
with video games. There we go. With video games, so from now and we have a month to play. We decided on Batman Arkham Asylum. We're going back and playing Arkham Asylum, and we could all play it. And so we're all gonna play it. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna do it, and we're gonna discuss Arkham Asylum. Like Anthony, like the look that Anthony has on his face is, I don't know if it's like disappointment or if it's like he just wants to be over. Explain your look to me, Anthony.
So recap, we're moving away from what are you playing, watching, reading, and we're gonna make it into a rediscovery.
Yes,
portion.
I was gonna get to that.
Damn. Anthony just described what you've been trying to describe for the past 15 minutes in just 5 seconds.
I feel like I added more flair to it. I brought up what we were talking about,
my God.
what we're going to be watching. So to recap, yes. It's true. I have a really shitty backdrop right now because I moved my camera.
Oh my God.
So,
let's end on that, please. That's perfect.
Yeah.
I moved my camera, and my backdrop used to be.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That was my backdrop, was that, which is like more fitting, but then I had to move my camera this way, and now I have wooden palace. Brittany, I don't think you've actually been to her house, but it's like a wooden palace, and this is the office. It's 7 different types of wood, and this happens to be.
Oh, Tim Preston, he just joined us.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, comic boxes for life.
Yes, it is. It's literally comic boxes. Just comic box. And
Yeah,
inside
so-
that closet, there's more comic boxes.
So for Tim and Brittany, we're moving away at the end of our show. We normally do like, or what are you reading, watching, playing? But we're going to get more to a focused rediscovery time where we are going to have what we've basically, we're already figured out what we're going to do for the next month. We're going to revisit a book. We're going to revisit a movie. We're going to revisit a television show and revisit a game. So Mark has said that we're going to do for next week. This week, we're reading The Killing Joke, Batman's The Killing Joke, seminal Alan Moore story.
And Brittany, you know this because we bought like 1 million copies of this book, and this is one of those copies because we planned to do it at a Wizard World, and just never happened. So.
And we're going to do Dick Tracy as our movie 2 weeks out. 3 weeks out, we're doing Doogie Howser. So we're going to watch as many episodes. MD. Yep. And then we're going to play Batman Arkham Asylum for 4 weeks out. So all you watching and listening, you can join in on the fun if you wish.
Yeah.
Cool. You explained it better than me.
And then next week,
rambled for a while.
Mark might have a better background.
I won't have a better background. I don't know what to do. I legitimately don't know what to do unless I put the camera right here and it's that way. I just.
Why did you move it again?
Because like the way the desk was set up, it wasn't for when Tasha was working, when she works in here, it's not set up properly. And then this way I get has like more space. Like I have my area where I can like ship comics from, like my shipping zone right here.
Did you say shit comics from?
Shipping.
Well, I mean, looking by
Okay.
those boxes behind him, I think that's what he's doing.
He's definitely dumping them, that's for sure.
There's some gems in these boxes back, by the way. Some real gems.
Oh man.
But yeah, Tim, we're back to our Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, join us next week.
I'm just gonna have Anthony take over as host moving forward. All right, that's it for the show. Thank you for tuning in. Brittany, thank you for joining us.
Wait, do we know what we're talking about next week? Did we cover that?
No, I don't think we've actually discussed it.
Damn it.
Try it. Brittany, try to steal my comic books. I dare you to. Alarm. Well, what are we talking about next week? Outside of the Killing Joke.
Well, yeah, we're covering the Killing Joke, but that's not the topic. That's just our rediscovery portion. I don't know. You guys wanted to do the top horror games, or I mean, we're still in October.
Yeah, we'll get back to you guys. We'll have to have.
Good night, Brittany.
Good night, Brittany. Love you. We'll get back to. We'll decide on what we're gonna do. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. It's been a great show. We'll be back next week, Tuesday, 7 p.m. PT. Please check us out on social, follow our accounts if you're doing, subscribe to this because we're trying to hit 50. Thank you. Yeah, follow all of us on social, appreciate it. And have a good night.
And we're gonna come back without interruptions next week, right?
I mean, I'm gonna try to get it figured out. We can maybe try to move to Discord.
Yeah,
Let's do
might
it.
be a good time ever.
Yeah, we could test Discord out on our pre-production call. Just so you guys know, we do have like a pre-production call that we do. if you guys didn't know this, we actually do have. It's pretty long too. It's like an hour and a half, like 2 hour phone call that we do. That I don't feel like I pay attention to.
But you're the one that runs it.
Yeah, like maybe that's the problem, guys. Maybe that is the problem with this, is that I run, like, I shouldn't be the one in charge of this.
Nah,
I think it's
think
perfect.
about.
I think it's fine.
So, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week, everybody, and don't forget to rediscover your geek.
Rediscover your geek.
There we go.
Bye.